Welcome, everybody, to All About Articulation, where we do a deeper dive into the articulation of some of your favorite action figures while glossing over things like sculpt, paint apps, character history, accessories, character history, because I suck at that, and there are already so many great reviews on YouTube who do that already, so I don't want to waste your time. And time is a terrible thing to waste. I keep saying that. Do you guys, is that annoying? Time is a terrible thing to waste. It's so stupid. I don't know why I keep saying that. Okay, today we're doing a review of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse, Batman Knightfall, and Batman Michael Keaton in the new Flash movie. Not to be confused with the single carded version. Not to be confused with the Batman Keaton Flash with the from Batman '89, I believe, that comes in the with the Batmobile. That it was such a huge controversy because nobody could get it, and it was an Amazon exclusive, and it sold out in 3 seconds. So here we are. But I finally got my hands on one of these, and I got this guy, and I put a soft goods, well, my own little DIY crappy soft cape. If you want to get straight to the articulation, there's a, what do you call it? Just check the description below, the timestamp. You go straight to it. But first, my spiel. Okay, I love this Batman. I like both of these. These are both great figures, and I'm very, very surprised with the articulation because God only knows I've had my issues with McFarlane articulation. It's always been an issue for me. This guy, he's fantastic, and I think he's one of the best. These are two of the best Batmanses that McFarlane has released that I can think of. My favorite articulated Batman by McFarlane to date has been, drumroll, Speeding Bullets Batman. This guy, I freaking love. I don't believe I did a review on him, but I added a soft goods cape like I do with all these Batman figures. That's why I love this one so much, because right out of the box, he comes with soft goods cape. This is the first time that I can think of where a McFarlane Batman figure or any McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse figure came with a soft cape that I didn't have to do myself, because I'm not very good at this stuff. So I just kind of, and I really should make a video on how I do it. It's if you don't care about aesthetics and how it looks, you just want a cape to not hinder articulation, to get out the way. That's pretty much how I like to do it. So, like for example, this is not going to win any beauty contests, but it gets the job done. I think the biggest win for me is that I was able to find a piece of fabric, an old T-shirt. I went to like TJ Maxx or was it Marshalls for about $10, and the colors I think match perfectly. What do you think? Look at that. It's perfect, boy. Beautiful. Okay, so all right, yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to the articulation. For Knightfall, we'll go Knightfall first. Only 1 point of articulation in the neck. He looks up that far. Looks down that far. He's got the shoulders go up. He hits a nice T. Right. There's a butterfly cut. Let's put it that way. Not a dedicated butterfly joint, and the motion you barely get anyway. So you get a butterfly cut. There's a bicep swivel. It goes all the way around. We know how that works. Double jointed elbows. That can go, bam. What is that? Perpendicular. That is one thing about McFarlane. It's like his head and torso articulation has been very, very has been historically subpar, but he's always given us great elbow and knee articulation. You gotta give it to him there. And the wrist joints are very, very underrated. He's got the multi-directional wrist joints that go adduction, abduction, flexion, extension, all the way around. So we know how that works. So no problem with any wrist motions there. 2 points of articulation in the abdomen, upper lower. The upper abdomen in isolation moves down this far and extends that far. Again, crunches forward this far, extends that far, and the lower point of articulation in the abs, it crunches this far and it extends that far. Now, I do have to say that the lower abdominal, I actually modified a little bit. I chose the lower abdominal to modify instead of the upper because I pulled them apart, and it's both the upper and lower has a ball peg and ball socket that goes in, right? But the problem is with the upper, I noticed that inside here, there's too much plastic that's preventing the forward crunch for the upper abdominal joint. You see that? I can get you a better. Hold on, let me fix this light so you can see it. Is that better? There we go. All right. So you see that there. That there's too much. I almost said meat, but it's not meat. Obviously, it's what do you call it? Just plastic. So what I did was that I pulled apart the lower ab, and there's a ball socket, and in the lower ab there's a hole, and I just Dremel just a little bit around the edge of the hole in the lower abdominals, so now he could bend forward a lot more. He can get down here, because initially he was maybe hitting just like that with the lower abs, and after my modification he can go down this far. I should really make a video on that. So many things I should make a video on. Anyway, that's like not necessarily about an action figure, but like action figure adjacent. There's so much stuff I want to talk about. Maybe I should start a podcast. What do you guys think? Should I do a podcast? Not enough podcasts out there these days, right? Yeah, the waist, it crunches. We went through the crunch. They both upper and lower can spin around and rotate 360 degrees. Keaton, I need you to stand up straight. Thank you. Okay, hip articulation. McFarlane, obviously no drop down, but he can do a split. And that's another thing that McFarlane Toys has always been good at, giving us splits. Here's a split. Here's a Glenn Webb split. Because of those awesome ankle articulations. I gotta take that back about trashing McFarlane articulation. McFarlane does not have bad articulation. It's just that if he could just improve the ab crunch, the abdominal articulation, and a little bit of the neck, then it's phenomenal. It's fun. He's got great articulation in his figures. Double jointed knee that goes all the way back, can almost kick his own butt. No upper thigh swivel, no boot cut, right? Yep, no boot cut. And the multi-directional ankle joint that we all know and love. And we all know how that works. Multi-directional, which way you want it. All right, now let's move to Keaton Flash Batman. Because you can't just say Keaton Batman, because Keaton now has been Batman in 3 movies? Batman 89, Batman Returns, and Flash. So you just can't say Flash Batman, but you can't say Keaton Batman. You can't say Flash Batman either, because in Flash the movie there was also Batfleck. So you have to be specific. Keaton Flash Batman, as opposed to Keaton 89 Batman or Keaton Batman Returns, whatever. Okay. Here's one thing that was very controversial not very controversial, slightly controversial among toy figures, is that a lot of collectors complain when there's neck articulation, because as we all know, or maybe some of you don't, the costume and the suit that they actually used for filming had horrible neck articulation. You couldn't do anything. It was Michael Keaton talked about that in interviews, that he couldn't move his neck. So a lot of figures, like the recent Mezco 89 Batman release, stayed true to that and did not allow any sort of neck articulation. If you wanted to move his head in any way, shape, or form. You pretty much had to move his body. Which I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense if you want to stay faithful to the source material. But, you know, we're not filming a movie here. We're collecting action figures, you know? Like, give me some neck articulation. And if you don't want it, you don't have to utilize it. But for those of us like maniacs like me who love articulation, give me the option. So I love what McFarlane did here. He added neck articulation. And you can look up that far. And you look down that far. And you can turn his head and twist. And he has a lot of good neck pivot. Head pivot. Oh yeah, let me just show you Knightfall Batman. He can move his head back and forth, side to side, in all manner of speaking. Let me talk about his shoulders. He cannot hit a T-pose. That's the one problem. It's because of these stupid shoulder pads that even if you slide it up, you know, you make sure it doesn't get caught in the seam. I don't know if you can see that. Even if it doesn't get caught in the seam, he still can only go up that far. It's a shame. I'm almost tempted to like just pull these off, because really, who cares? But whatever, I'll keep it on for now. He has butterfly articulation, which is just a ball peg in a socket, but it's definitely, you get more movement, butterfly movement, than Knightfall. Knightfall, as we saw a second ago, barely any. But 89 Keaton Flash Batman has way more. He's got a bicep swivel that goes all the way around. He's got a double jointed elbow that pretty much hits, what is that? 0 degrees. It's great. He's got the multi-directional wrist joint that can give you flexion, extension, adduction, abduction, every direction necessary. 2 points of articulation in the abs. Upper ab crunch goes up, back and forth this much. Extend that far, not too much, but you can get a much better amount of forward ab crunch in the upper abdominals. Lower abdominals, he can extend his back that far, not much, and he can crunch his forward that much, not much. In conjunction, he can bend this far forward, and he can extend his back that far back. He could crunch his abs much further than he could extend his back, which is the right way to make action figures. I cannot tell you, and McFarlane has been so guilty of this in the past, where I hate it when toy manufacturers do this. They give you so much more range in the back extension than they do in the ab crunch. And I ask anybody to pause this video, stand up right now, stand up straight, bend your back backwards, and then bend over forwards. And then tell me, which direction do you get more range? Forwards or backwards? Obviously it's forwards. So I don't know why these toy companies keep doing this. They keep giving us these huge range of motion bending backwards, but then barely any bending forwards. It's one of my biggest pet peeves in all articulation. So, as you can see, Knightfall is guilty of this, but Keaton Flash is not. I wonder how Speeding Bullets is. Alright, not much crunch, but yeah, a lot more back, see? Anyway. Okay. Alright, did I get to his... Oh yeah, so his hips. No drop down. He can hit a split. He could definitely hit a split, if not for the hindrance of his trunks. His trunks, which are soft, but it does definitely stop him from going past this far. So he can't technically get a split. And he can do a Glen Webb, which would be, well, it would be the same as this angle, so not much else to show. Double jointed knees. He can kick his own butt. Awesome. Oh, I didn't even notice that. It's got a bit of a yellow, greenish, yellowish coat of paint here on his boots. It's not all black. No thigh swivel, no boot cut, multi-directional ankle joint, and great ankle pivot. And that's about it. So yeah, these are my thoughts. I do like these figures a lot. A lot. Definitely when compared to other McFarlane figures, and for, you know, $20, $25, you can't go wrong. Especially for a 7-inch scale. Batman. You know, if you're a classic Batman fan like me and you just love this blue, gray with the yellow belt and the yellow background emblem on the bat signal, on the bat symbol, this to me, this is my favorite Batman design right here, the Knightfall design. Although the design predates Knightfall, so I don't know why people call it Knightfall, but because it is Knightfall, but it's just classic Batman. I don't know why it needs to be called Knightfall Batman. It's just Batman. Anyway, yeah. Oh, did I do a measurement? I did not do a measurement. So yeah, Batman stands at just at 7 inches, and Keaton Flash stands at just a smidge over 7 inches. Keaton Flash is actually taller than Knightfall. Look at that. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but if you follow Keaton's eye line, he's just a smidge taller than Knightfall. Which is weird because Michael Keaton, the actor, is not too tall of a guy. This would have been better if it was just maybe a touch shorter. But yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Alright guys, thanks for watching.